Which camera are we going to look at?
Doesn't matter. Pick one.
Yeah.
Let's go with this one.
Let's go with that one. Okay. You want to start it or you want me to?
Go ahead.
All right, guys. What's up? Welcome to Love Strong. I'm Tyler Patrick.
I'm Chase Jones.
We're up here in the Wasatch Mountains in Logan, Utah, just up behind my house where I live, trying to soak up the goodness of what God's given us and try to introduce you to who we are as Love Strong and invite you to come along in the journey that we're going to take you on. So
this is going to be a series that we do that we're able to focus on some of the things that we really think are important and we care a lot about. The medium being through podcasts and through some YouTube videos that you'll have access to.
We'll also be teaching some courses online and offering even experiences, basically being out in this kind of area, but also doing therapeutic things to help live a wholehearted lifestyle. So to get started, I just want to introduce myself a little bit. Again, my name is Tyler Patrick. I'm a marriage and family therapist, and I specialize mainly in the treatment of sexual addiction and betrayal trauma, affairs, other forms of trauma. And in the course of my work, I have stumbled across the principles of recovery that I think every single person needs to know and to live for a wholehearted life. And I've been feeling really impressed to try to take the principles that I teach my clients and to spread them to other people in my life who I know could benefit from having those things to help them live the lives they want and have the happiness they want in their relationships and in reaching their personal goals. That's my professional side. Personally, I am married. I've got a beautiful wife of almost 19 years now, Rhiannon, and I have 4 daughters. Madison, who's a 16-year-old, Alexis is a 15-year-old, and Brinley is a 10-year-old, and Paisley is a 9-year-old, so 4 daughters. And part of my life quest is to try to figure out how to do the kind of work in my life that'll train the men and boys to be the right kinds of husbands to my daughters as they grow up. And personally, I'm also in recovery myself. I live the principles that I teach. I'm currently trying to live everything I teach my clients. I'm still not a finished product. I have learned some things along the way that I'm ready to share freely, and I'm going to be in a continual journey along this path too. And I'll continue to share as I learn and grow myself.
So like I said, my name's Chase Jones. Tyler and I are actually, we're family. So he's my brother-in-law. He married my oldest sister, Rhiannon. And I've gotten the chance to know him over the past 18 years, actually. That's crazy to think that it's been that long. He knew me when I was a little pipsqueak. And actually, we've got a flying V, a perfect flying V right over us right now.
That's pretty awesome.
That's actually pretty, that's like a little God wink right there. Thank you. You know? But it's been really cool to watch his journey and have Tyler as an example and mentor in my life in a lot of different areas. So I've been working recovery myself for the past probably 8 years, I'll say, and trying to learn these different principles through experience and firsthand getting to know what it's like to live them. And so I'm here to kind of almost be like a second witness, you know, can I get an amen kind of thing on the things that Tyler's sharing, and hopefully give a little bit of some insight as well on how those principles have played out in my own life. I'm married to a wonderful woman named Chelsea, and Chelsea and I have been madly and desperately in love for the past three and a half years. We've been married for about 2.5, and we're pregnant with our first. She's pregnant. I've got nothing that I'm contributing really, but she's carrying this baby for us, and we're due July. So we're really excited for this big shift in our lives and starting to build out our family a little bit. But along with that, I was just thinking that Tyler and I are here, and a lot of what this is us overcoming some fears and some anxieties. I know personally that I get nervous when I'm in front of a camera, when I'm in front of an audience, when the spotlight's on me, and I feel pressure to perform. But I know that there are things that I have to offer in those moments if I'm willing to take a moment and think about what they are and then be willing to share them. And so this morning I came down from Idaho Falls, come down to Logan, and we decided to hike up to this mountain to kind of get ourselves in the right mindset, to have kind of a peaceful heart, and to be able to approach this with the right attitude. And part of that is through connecting with God through nature. So it's a first step for us.
One of the things that Chase said is really important in our journey here is that we are overcoming our fears, but both of us have had several discussions time and time again about the things that we're learning, about the things that are bringing us happiness in our lives, and we've continually talked about the desire and need to try to share these things, and almost feeling like it's a calling for us, that this is something that God, our higher power, wants us to be doing to try to make a difference in the lives of other people and to help kind of shine the light that He provides to us into the dark places of the world. And so that's why we're here. And of course we'll be getting better as we go. We're excited to do that. We're excited to learn. We're actually conquering our fears as we speak right now. And you guys just met Rooster. That's my dog. That's my German short hair pointer. He comes up in the mountains with me every day here and goes running with me. So to introduce a little bit of who we are, we'll be getting into deeper things as we begin our podcast and as we start doing some of these activities that we want to talk about and even give you some of the skills that we've learned, is to just outline some of the really broad principles that if these principles resonate with you, you're going to be in the right place. So Chase and I, we have adopted a mindset that the most wholehearted people, they live a life full of connection to God, meaning a pursuit, an authentic pursuit of a personal relationship with a higher power. And in doing so, we find our true value, we find who we really are, and we get the answers of who we need to be in this world from our higher power. We believe in connection to other people, meaning we need to learn to be authentic and learn to take off the masks that we put on in front of other people and be truly who we are, even in our ugliness, so that other people can see us and love us and help us. And in doing so, we believe that those ugly places become beautiful, and they actually become the soil where a plant of goodness grows into the lives of other people. And then the third principle is learning to live a connected life to ourselves. And we talk about joining our mind and our heart in a way where we can live life on its terms, where when our life is cold and snowy and dark, we have the skills to handle cold and snowy and dark and to find beauty in it, and then to fully experience the exquisite joys that come from living the same life. And we'll teach you those skills on how to manage emotions and deal with relationships, and also move towards reaching your goals and your dreams and tapping into your purpose as a human being.
I want to emphasize that those three principles, connection to God, to self, and to others, that they create this perfect triangle. And when you're doing one really well, it enables you to be able to start working on the others, and they'll just get better and stronger and stronger and stronger as you continue to make that kind of progress. Something we should also bring up, that we have a third powerhouse that we didn't even mention. He's not here with us right now, but Brandon Patrick, B. Patrick, he's going to be doing some of the Love Strong recovery work, some of the Love Strong Wholehearted principles alongside us, just as well.
We'll get you introduced to Brandon. He's our in-house celebrity. He currently already has a podcast going. It's one of the top growing podcasts on Apple iTunes, and so we're trying to do this without him, but we'll bring him the celebrity, the hard hitter, later on. So
he'll show us how to do it.
Exactly. So another set of principles that goes underneath those three principles of connection to God, self, and others is that personally we have a passion especially for helping to live a wholehearted life with three other core principles that fall underneath those bigger principles, and that is that we were all built with specific purposes by a higher power that knows those purposes and wants us to learn to use those for good in the lives of other people. We want to cultivate those things. We want to pursue those things. We want to overcome our fears and moving into fully living the purpose that we were sent here to perform. Secondly, we believe that as human beings, we were built to soak up the beauty of this earth, to soak up the beauty of what life has to offer. You know, the adventure that life offers, because it isn't guaranteed. There is nothing firm and solid here, and that offers so much opportunity for adventure. And then we also believe that we as human beings were built to be able to admire and cultivate and protect the beautiful things in this world. And that can be beautiful things in terms of plants and animals and the wildlife around us. It also means the principles that lead to a beautiful life. And as men, that includes how we take care of the women in our lives. So.
Yeah, and I want to go back to one of those first principles that you were saying about our sense of purpose that God knows and wants us to discover. And so if that's something that you don't already know, or even if it is something that you already know, but maybe you're not fully reaching, the things that we're going to be focusing on and sharing with you are going to help you in that journey of discovery and in fulfillment. For each of us, I know and believe that we have been given these stepping stones along the way. Things that have shattered our lives, things that have brought us back together perfectly, and all for the sake of knowing who we are, discovering who we are, and then being able to take that process and show others how to do it too. And that's one of the best experiences that I've had that relates to this with Tyler. I lived with Tyler and Rhiannon for a year of my life when I was coming back from a hard time, just gotten through a divorce, and was really trying to get back on my own feet and understand what next steps I needed to make. How do you move forward when the plans that you had have all changed? You got to reevaluate, and they gave me the perfect refuge and haven for that. One of the kind of goals that Tyler and I had, along with my younger brother Brandon, we wanted to do a half marathon together, and we set the goal. We kind of broke up how we were going to do the training for it and start training our bodies for it. And I remember one time in particular, we started out running from Tyler's house, and we're on sidewalk most of the way. We finally hook a left, headed east into Logan Canyon, and there's a trail that's usually really broad, really nice, perfect for running on. It's soft on your feet, pretty tamped down. But the time that we were going, it was still shaded and snowy in there. So all the snow had melted, but had solidified into ice. And so there were only a few places where it was actually very safe to travel through. And I remember at one point, instead of Tyler and I running side by side like we had done most of the time, Tyler was actually taking a lead, and I was following behind, and I decided to follow in his footsteps as exactly as I could, knowing that if he could take that step forward and be fine and actually safe, then I could do the same in that same footstep. And so that's kind of a good analogy, maybe some good symbolism there of what this is not that we're perfect and that we know all the answers. You were alluding to that earlier. We've got so much to learn and to figure out, but at the same time, the things that we have learned, we're ready to share, and we're ready to expand on those and get stretched ourselves in that way.
Carry forth that metaphor a little bit too, Chase. Just as you were talking, I was thinking about the actual half marathon that we ran. Do you remember that?
I do, yeah.
Yeah, we started running, and about halfway through it, Chase has a foot issue, so it was just a miracle that he'd even trained for this thing, and his foot started to break down, and he started to walk, and then he was going to drop out of the marathon, and he said, I'll just walk for another mile. And then after another mile, he said, I'll walk again another mile. And by the time we'd finished, we'd walked about 7 of the miles.
Yeah.
But you figured out how to get across the finish line, and we did it together. And I think that's kind of what we're hoping to do here is, by all means, we have some things to offer you. We definitely have some principles of truth that have brought a lot of happiness and joy, and we're going to be a work in progress, and we want that to be on display, and we want you to be a part of it. So we hope you'll be joining us. We're excited to give what we have. We're looking forward to also getting to know some of you and also gain what you've got to offer as well. And I don't know what else we've got to say today, Chase.
No, I feel like we got it. We'll see you next week.
All right.